do I know that the government have the power to dethrone the Oba of Benin? That we are speaking and insulting and provoking the government of the day. Then the other one said, how can a pastor like me be defending tradition?
Thanks for clicking on this channel. Please subscribe to FO's blog history and click on the notification button so that whenever we upload a new video you will be notified. Can Governor Obaseki dethrone Oba of Benin? What happened to Agho Obaseki when he wanted to be Oba of Benin? According to Benin's traditional structure, the Enigi are in the third position of the hierarchy of chiefs in Benin Kingdom. Humanist Stephen said the Oba is the god king the Benins know, hence no one challenges him. Those who were saying, are we the spokesperson for the palace? Now the palace has spoken and is not in agreement with the state government. He said people have told him to keep quiet, not to talk about the issue concerning the Oba of Benin and the state government. I cannot be quiet, it involves my identity as a Benin man, he said. He further said the government twisted the law in order to achieve its purpose. If we lose our monarchy, we will lose our identity as a people. He explains further if it is possible to dethrone the Oba of Benin because some people ask him if he knows that the governor has the power to dethrone the Oba of Benin. He talks about Agho Obaseki's attempt to become the Oba of Benin during the colonial rule, but he failed. Please sit down, listen, and watch as humanist Stephen gives a critical analysis.
Yeah, una good morning, my people. Na me, una brother, una friend, humanist Stephen. This morning, see, I'm very happy this morning because I got a very fantastic news yesterday. You know, I saw a letter from the palace, you know, and I also want to thank my brother, Amuwe Izodowa Imaswen, you know, a guy who has stood for the Benin culture and tradition. He's my mentor. You know, you guys should know that Amuwe is my mentor. You know, while I was in Sweden, I normally invite him to my show to tell about the Benin history. And I've known a lot of the Benin stories you see me talk about today, or history that I fluently speak about on my shows. It came from that young man, okay? And I respect him so much. I respect him a lot. He's a guy that I so much give so much respect to. So I need to put that very clear. And yesterday he also dropped some time bomb on his page, you know, and those time bombs were actually, you know, mind blowing. Okay, guys, and I saw them, and you know, I wish I've already known anyways. I spoke about them in my I think episode 7 or episode 8. You know, I spoke about them. You know, the hierarchies of the chiefs and the paramount rulers, and I said the Enogis are in the test class. I also remember I talked about the Zomo, the Olias, and all that these ones are even more higher in hierarchy than the Enogis, who are going around today creating unnecessary tension in Benin Kingdom. And I haven't said that. I also went further to talk about. Sorry, guys. I also went further to talk about that the government does not have the right or the kind of power they are trying to display, you know, in this very particular issue. And I also try to explain the difference between a dukedom and a kingdom. You know, they should not try to want to bring the Edo North and Edo South kind of traditional institution into the Benin Kingdom or the Edo South Kingdom, which they are not the same. You know, those people they have paramount rulers in different localities, in different domains, which is completely different from what we have in the south of Edo State, which we only have one paramount ruler and every other traditional chiefs institution that was that emanated from the palace of the Oba of Benin. That's how it has been from time immemorial. And today when I saw somebody sent me this very particular letter written by let me see, guys, Professor Yemi Akinseye George San, and another Professor Edoba Omorige San. I was overjoyed, when I read through them, and I found that this has been in line with my thought and my beliefs, and I was so pleased. And I said, no, I dropped it yesterday on my wall, and I said, this morning I'm going to talk about it. I'm going to read it out and put more light on what these emeritus or professors have just highlighted in this very letter, guys. And and you see, the king remains the king. The king God is not just an ordinary man. I want you guys to know that. He's the king God. Ogie, Nokisori is the king of the sky. Agho Obaseki. Swabe Ohoho. You've heard that parable before. No Swabe Ohoho is Sagyon Yasa. There are some areas in the traditional institution, particularly of the Benin Kingdom, that you don't dare go to. The consequences might be grave. Even men, strong men, like the Daosas, like the Omobudes, and all other institutions, strong, institutions, they all still respect and bow to the king of the sky. But the moment men of low spiritual maturity, because of political power that have been engulfed in them, want to begin to challenge or alter the ancient status quo of a kingdom, it draws grave consequences to the one who is involved. On this pattern, let's look at what these professors read or said. I'm going to read it out. I'm going to dwell on it. Now, he said, clarification on the structure of the Benin traditional institution. Clarification on the structure of the Benin traditional institution. The body of the letter read, it has come to the attention of the Benin Traditional Council, the only competent traditional council in all the 7 local government areas of Edo South Senatorial District, that there is a complete misunderstanding of the true structure of the traditional institution of the Benin Kingdom, and invariably the Benin Traditional Council. For the avoidance of doubt, the Benin Traditional Council wishes to clarify as follows. Number 1, that the Oba of Benin is the sole traditional ruler in the whole 7 local government area constituting the Edo South Senatorial District. That is to say, in Oredo, Agho, Ikpobaoka, Ovia Southwest, Ovia Northeast, Orion, and Inwonde local government areas of Edo State. 2, that all other traditional title holders in the entire 7 local government areas of Edo State, Senatorial District, aforementioned are no more than chiefs appointed by the Oba of Benin. If you watch, guys, during my analysis, I made mention of a commissioner that the state government appoints to oversee a section of the economy of Edo State. Now, one thing to become a governor, not a chairman now, guys, a governor in his ministry. That then he will take his decisions without the input of the executive governor of the state. That the governor will not be only an advisory body to him. Number 3, that in particular, the Enigye is in the entire 7 local government area of Edo South are classified as chiefs and not traditional rulers. That in the said 7 local government area of Edo South Senatorial District, the Enigyes are chiefs representing the Oba of Benin in the various communities or domain to which they are sent. Underline the word, they are sent. They are messengers. They are representatives of the Oba. They do not actually have their powers from their domain. Their powers emanate from the power that is constituted or bestowed on them by His Royal Majesty. Five, that all the Enigye are required to relate with the Oba of Benin through the palace chiefs of the Oba being the traditional channel of communication, unless waived by the Oba. You don't get that now. That shows these Enigyes who are parading themselves as chiefs, as rulers, cannot even talk to a Baba by themselves. These chiefs are supposed to talk to the chiefs in the palace, like the Uzamaniyos and other high chiefs in the palace. Said, except the father wills it. It means they do not even have access. They are in the lowest cadile. They are in the lowest cadile of the hierarchy of chiefs in Benin Kingdom. 6, that this age-long traditional hierarchy is undisputed and fully captured under the Benin customary law, which is also affirmed and declared in the traditional rulers and chiefs edicts of 1979 as applicable in Edo State. See in particular second schedule at page A128 to page A139 of the edicts. In light of the foregoing, we firmly advise the general public to take notice of this traditional structure of the Benin Traditional Council and disregard the misinformation being spread about the statue of traditional title holders in the kingdom. Dated this day, 29th of August 2023, signed by Professor Yemi Akinseye George San and Professor Edoba Omorige San. Thank you guys. Watch out for part 2. For part 11, sorry. Now, let's watch part 11. Now, Oga, those of you were saying, are we the spokesperson of the palace? Now you've heard. The palace have spoken. And I also heard yesterday that some of the Enigi who had refused to support this treason, who had refused to support this coup d'etat against the traditional institution in Edo South, have also went to court to challenge what Obaseki and his cohort are about to do. Yeah. I also saw that yesterday. There's also a case in the court now challenging the state government from creating this traditional anarchy that's about to create in Edo State, particularly Edo South. Like I said, guys, so many people talk about the Edo Central and Edo North. Their system has been a little bit different from ours. As a result of many of them being a Muslim, those kings, those Enojes in Esa land, by the 1979 edicts, they are called traditional rulers. Okay, guys? They are called traditional rulers. So the constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria has already made them a traditional ruler by that 1979 edicts of traditional ruler and chiefs. They are completely different. If you check, go check. I went through it yesterday on Izoduwa Imasen's war. Go check there. I went through it and it was glaring and clearing that these so-called Enigis are at the bottom. Are at the bottom of the hierarchies. After the Oba of Benin, you now have the Uzamans, Nino. You now have other top chiefs within the palace, like the Asses, like the Samans. These are all bigger in position than these Enigis, who are trying so hard to create a very awkward, unpleasant rift in Edo South, all for their greedy interest, not for the interest of the people. Many of us, because of our political affiliation, we support anything just for our own personal benefits and interest. Oba of Benin not be anybody, mate. Anybody that wants me to keep quiet and allow somebody beat my papa first and go to ask the person what happen. I do want money or more. What makes us unique? After the British colonial masters dismantled the Benin Kingdom, what still makes us relevant today, if not would have gone into extinction? Culturally, traditionally, if there was no kingdom, if there was no rulership, the Obaship, that cultural purification that we have had all this while is what had kept us relevant in the entire world. Like you just heard, we had only 7 local governments. But this was a kingdom that was as far as beyond the Niger. And as far as to Ghana, the Gold Coast. These are things you can find out from encyclopedia or any other books you can think of. This is a kingdom that went into the Guinness Book of Record. This is a kingdom that its, artifacts are treasured all over the world. Everything that made Benin who Benin is all surrounds the traditional institution, which is the kingship. So if you want us to just sit down and fold our hands and allow this just go like that, come on, guys. Wagabodne na temata. Government uses powers within their availability to punish anyone or to disregard or disrespect anyone when they want to. Don't say that is what the law says. Because there are always loopholes that the government will use in doing what they want to do against you when they have issues with you. They will quote the law and interpret the law to suit the purpose that they want to use it for as at that time. What we saw happening is the law being twisted for the purpose of the governor. Now, it has become clear from the professors that what the government is proposing is alien to the constitution. There's a difference between a traditional ruler and a traditional chief. let us support to defend what is our own. This is the only last thing that we have as a people. If we lose this, we lose our identity. If we lose this, we lose our relevancy. If we lose this, the Benin people goes into traditional extinction. You know what that means? We'll become irrelevant in this world. Yes. You know, while I was in Sweden, I normally wear a lot of traditional clothes. All my clothes are like this palace gown. That's what I have. All my natives are more like palace gowns. I have over 20 of them. That's what I wear. One time I went on a ship, what is it called? Ship cruise from Sweden to I think to Finland or so. And when I came out, I had my beads in my bag. I came out that summer. I dressed more like a king, with all the apparatus of the Benin culture and tradition. If I tell you, I had a photograph of over 50 from different nationalities that was in that boat, in that ship on that day. Many of them were saying, oh, this is Benin. Benin. This is Benin from Nigeria, right? I said, yeah, I'm from the Benin Kingdom. Yeah, I know you're Oba. I know you're Oba. These guys, they know us. They respect us because of that institution that we have also there. They give us that maximum regard when they see us on this very, traditional dressing. So let us not destroy you guys. It's not working. Let's do what is right. Let's save our own. Let's protect our throne from political scavengers. Oba is here. Yeah, on a good morning, my people. I want to just do this one again. Get what somebody sent me. Yeah, some of these people, I not actually know waiting be their problem. I don't know what is civilization don't do us as a people. To the point that you want to destroy your tradition all because of civilization. Culture and tradition are part and parcel of life. It's an identity of a people. The time we did secondary school, that time we do social studies. It's a what is culture? It's a culture is an identity that you carry. So the moment you decide to break away from your culture, you have no more identity as a people. And the identity of a Benin man is the culture that we have. That is what separates us from every other tribe all over the nation called Nigeria, even far into the uttermost part of the earth. Having said that, there were two things two guys sent to me. I don't mention names because I feel it's not important. They only ask questions which I will give them an open answer. One said, do I know that the government have the power to dethrone the Oba of Benin? that we are speaking and insulting and provoking the government of the day. Then the other one said, how can a pastor like me be defending tradition? If I can't do both on this very particular video, I will do this as part 12 of the continuation of the Palace versus Obaseki. I will do the other one as part 13. So if it doesn't finish on this, then you watch out for the next part or episode. Now, let me go to the dethronement of the Oba of Benin. Is it possible? Constitutionally, yes. But in reality, is it possible? No. I'm not holding sway for the palace, but I want to tell you the reality on ground. The system, the traditional system of government operated by the Benin people is not the same as that being operated in these areas where kings are being dethroned. Now, in the north, for example, and in the west, most of the west, the stool, their ancient stool, is not occupied by a certain principle. Like they have what they call the ruling houses. Like in the north, they have the ruling houses, the royal household, who rotates the kingship in their domain. So in such a situation where I am from the royal house, for example, and I have siblings, which we all are from the royal house, and when it leaves my family, it goes to the next family, to the next family, and it goes like that, rotating around. Now, in such a situation, dethronement of the king, just like they did to Sanusi, Mohammed Lamido, the former CBN governor, is easy for the government to do. Because then, it's going to be elections. It's going to be a selection. And people, influences will be raised. Connections will go into play. Nepotism, favoritism will become the order of the day. Because the person who is going to be in charge now needs the backing of some persons to be able to win the election to become the king. But in that of the Benin kingdom, we the Benin normally have this adage that says, Aisa Morioba Odowa Eokede. Aisa Morioba Odowa Nokede. You know, the legendary Saramojo Joseph sang the song. You know, that also has something like that. Aisa Morioba Odowa Onokede. Aisa Morioba Odowa Onokede. Ovioba Virioba. Ovioba or Virioba. So, the Benin traditional stool is hereditary. Not only hereditary, it is for the firstborn only. This same Obaiwai, at the time he came in the 17th century, as the king, 17th, 16th century or thereabout, as the king of Benin Kingdom, we all knew what happened. how his brother wanted to take the throne from him, which the brother was crowned. How he ran into the forest for fear of him not being killed. How he mischievously met the immortal that as at Ring Road there near a shop. How the immortal saved him and many other things. How he came back, had a civil war against his brother, overthrew his brother, killed his brother, and the rightful stool was given back to him. Why it is very impossible for an outsider, outside the traditional stool of the Benin Kingdom, to sit on the ancient stool. If you check during the time of Ogiamie, the Evian, and the Caladeran story, you will understand the moment the Ogiso Iwodo, the last of the Ogiso dynasty, died, when Ogiamie came in, he didn't sit in the palace of the Oba of Benin for one day. Go check history, guys. He never sat in the palace of the Oba of Benin. No. That's why you saw that Ogiamie palace there at Sapomba. That was where they were actually ruling from, not on the ancient stool of the Benin people, because they were administrators. In the 1897, invasion of the British people, after His Royal Majesty, the Oba of Benin, Oba Obaseki, was deported to Calabar. He was never dethroned. Go check history, guys. Even the white people knew it is impossible. Just like what they did in the north and some other part of the west. They couldn't do it in Edo State. They took him out of Edo and take him far away because of the influence he has on the people. And they made Agho Obaseki, the governor's ancestral father, to be an administrator. We all knew what played out during that time. That's going to be a story for another day anyways. But Chief Agho Obaseki could not sit on the throne. The British wanted to do that. They wanted to make Agho to become the next king. But the Benin people vehemently resisted such a move. Because the kingship in Benin is not selective. It is hereditary. That was why, after 40 years, after 40 years of the Evian Ogiamie reign as administrator of the Benin, the Benin people understood they would have made anybody a king. Anybody would have been a king. To start from where the Owodo stopped. But they couldn't do that because there's already a laid down traditional custom in Benin that the first son is always the one in charge. That's why they went back again to Ile-Ife to seek the permission of Izoduwa, a Caladeran, who later been known in the West as Oduduwa, to return back to his ancient stool. And he told them, I'm too old for this. And gave his son, Oromia, which the Benin called Omononya, to come in and sit on the ancient stool of the Benin people. You see that now? So this, what is happening now, I've played before on different time in the history of the Benin traditional rulership. He played during the time of the Ogiames, and they couldn't succeed. He played again during the time of the British colonial system, and they couldn't succeed. Don't forget what is the name of this military governor? Is it Oyene Bolema or what is his name then? Who also wanted to do it to our royal father, Oba Erediawa, of blessed memory. You all knew what happened also again. So the Benin Asians too is not what anybody can just jump in and sit on. It is sacred. The sacredness doesn't mean it involves some spiritual, demonic activities. No. The British royal household is sacred. That is why when they are doing their coronation, there are a lot of things that they bring up. Because these are part and parcel of their culture and tradition as a people. So dethroning the Oba of Benin, guys, it's going to be a long walk for anyone who will survive it anyways. You know, the guy who came to Benin wanted to come and act funny. He ran mad. A military administrator ran mad out of this town. You know, the legendary Samurai Joseph also sang a song. Said, Oba Merioya, Iviedo Awaena, Ogie Metiebo, Nikao ni Eguina, Emenaki. Oba Merioya, Iviedo Awaena, Ogie Metiebo, Nikao ni Eguina, Emenaki. I just spoke in parable, guys. I won't sit down and watch anyone humiliate my identity, guys. Before I became a Christian, I was already an Edo man. That is my identity. I can't throw away my identity because of my religion belief. What identified me in this world first is where I originated from. A man that has no identity is lost forever. I will not succumb to the diabolical part of my identity, but to the culture and tradition that define who I am. I will embrace it with everything I have. Go to Israel today. Go to London. Go see them. Their culture is protected by these people. But that is where our religion actually originated from. Go to the Arab world today. What you see in the Arab world today that was not incorporated into Islam is their culture. Not the Islamic, that's not Islamic culture. That is the culture of the Arab people. Go to Israel. If you go to Israel, if you go to Saudi Arabia, you're going to see they practically dress the same way. They do things nearly the same way because this is their culture and tradition. Guys, any government that want to try that to dethrone the palace will set himself for both physical and spiritual war. Oyine Bolema Vinyatier Ote Damegi Ememe Oya Layedori Ememe Ayan Oyonba Ọmọ no webe wi ekin swabo koko no swabo koko e sagen Oya asa Guys, I don't fear anything. When it comes to this one, I stand it about 100% behind the palace. Let the palace breathe. Guys, they say I'm a pastor at the talk, for traditional things. Oh boy, Mona, relax. You can't blackmail me into keeping quiet. Right. Most of you know me, I'm not the guy that wants fame. In these last few years, I've made a name for myself as far as social media space is concerned. I don't give a hoot about what Facebook pays. I don't. If that was my intention, maybe by today, I would have gone into saga. I would have gone into a lot of things that would have drawn traffic to my wall. I don't do that. Like somebody called me yesterday, say, Ipa, your own is when there are issues, you just come outside. When you finish talking, maybe they will not hear from you again the next 4 weeks or 1 month or 2 months. You are off. That's just it. My job is to do things that will protect my people. That's the reason why I actually became, an influencer. Every time I came here, it's not because of the money. That Facebook doesn't even pay when we're there. Facebook doesn't pay. During the election, Facebook wasn't paying. Instagram wasn't paying. There was no TikTok anyways. But we're doing it because of the passion and the love we have for the job, for our nation, for our kingdom, for our state. So, who is also a pastor, supposed to have the mind to speak out when evil is being perpetrated. There's another that he said, evil continues when the righteous decide to keep quiet. So I would not say, oh, this is traditional things, I have to keep quiet. When I know this is going to cause anarchy in my kingdom, which is going to destroy the fabrics of the peace that we have enjoyed from time immemorial, which is going to destabilize the already existing peace in this senatorial district. In the last 4 years, the palace have gone through a lot in the hands of the government. We must begin to tell ourselves the gospel truth, guys. The first was the artifacts. The artifacts became an issue that nearly tear the Benin speaking Edo into two. Some was in support of Obaseki, while many of us were in support of the palace. The palace owns the artifacts. The artifacts needs to be returned back to the palace, and all that was accrued to it to be given to the palace. Many of us broke out from our friends. But thank God, the federal government, led by President Muhammadu Buhari, made an executive order that all artifacts relating to Benin Kingdom should be returned back to the palace, who are the original owners of those artifacts. That battle was won. Many kept quiet. When the purported demolition of some landed properties in some area came up, people started talking. People went as far as, throwing, garbage to the royal throne. I came out. I made my point clear that the land belongs to the palace, based on what we had. Yes, the demolition might not be okay based on also the tradition of the Benin people. I said, like I said, I don't really know how far they've gone in trying to make these people understand that the land is for the palace, but they say continually building on it. Many were happy when the chiefs and the secretary to the Benin National Council, Frank, were thrown into Kirikiri or into Oko. I was against it. About a few months later, the same thing that the state government arrested Frank and the other chiefs for was not done by him at Okoroma, which is now Mabatu. Houses were destroyed. Properties worth billions of naira were leveled down without no compensation. And the reason was that land belongs to the state government. The same people who destroyed, who praised the government for destroying, people's property, were the ones that were engaged the palace for wanting to reclaim their land back. And I came and I said, see, we always have a double standard in whatever we do. The one that favors us, we try to hold dear. The one that doesn't favor us, we are against it. Today, it is called Coracity, which Obaseki is now selling to the general public. I've asked this question before, guys. Why in the first place, why were those houses demolished? If he actually wants to sell them back to the people again. That's one. Now came the first purported letter of uplifting 6 eniges to become first class chiefs. We heard it. We all came out. We spoke against it. The co-plotters, like Professor Akenzua and that Enoge from Soloko Road, were suspended by the palace. I came out also and I said this was wrong. Not the best way to go. We fought, and thank God many of the Enigi came out and withdrew their support for that treasonable heart of some of the Enigis. The Benin people won again. The palace won. But many of us were tagged with different kind of names. Now, having seen that that could not work, or that didn't work, they came up again with a new one to now bring about what they called, Benin Traditional Council in all the local governments. I mean, Traditional Council in all the 18 local governments. Purposely, that was done to break the power of the Edosa, because Edo Central and Edo North have already had that already existing, like I said before. Each of these domain, not even local government, they have kings. I was in Auchi. We have the Ataro of Auchi. We have the Ogie Baise or something like that of Warake. There are many different kings within Esako West. Kings, the same thing in Eastern land. the Enojes. But that we don't have in Benin. So the plan of that is just to destabilize and reduce the influence and the power of the palace and the king. We know that. We are not dumbs. So because I am now a pastor, I now close my eyes and see that what I owe dear, what makes me who I am as a people in terms of identity, is not being rubbed in the mud. I will keep quiet and lose my identity. It's so funny, guys. It's so funny. That's what most of us today actually cannot even speak Benin anymore. Because we feel identity is demonic, which is a blatant lie from the pit of hell. Supporting your king does not make you an unbeliever. There were kings in Israel that ruled over Israel. They were appointed by God. So, I'll continue speaking to defend what is mine. The palace is my identity. That is mine. I must try as much as possible to project it in the best possible light that I can. Let the world be aware that humanity stood and fought and defended the palace at every given point in time. I'm not afraid of anything. I came home on my own. I've told people before, I can just buy my ticket tomorrow and get out of this country. I return back home. I have a home. I have a property that I bought with my money. So I can just go back and give my tenants some time. They will relocate out of that place. I had a job, I had, a vocation that I learned that I can get a job in a jiffy. But I cannot sit somewhere. I've been in Sweden. They respect the king, the royal household like nothing else. It is dear to them. This is a Christian state, for goodness sake. Nobody should come and drop such nasty, message on my DM anymore. You that is pastor, you are protecting tradition. You be really pastor. If me defending the palace not make me not to be a pastor to you, good for you. Take it like that. Not be you call me. Not be you be God will go judge me. Okay? We all have our God. You see, I know I go there, man. Guys, man, not mine. Nobody can intimidate me to enter house. For this matter, shaking also. If you get any good information, tell me. Somebody told me a story. Before I go, somebody told me a story about our father. About what happened to him, some years back. I've not been able to get across. Please, if you are here, you told me this story that day. I want you to DM me if I can relay this story on live video. People need to know how they be planning against this king. He has something, because the same thing, guys. If you are here, if you are the person that I spoke to that day, and we had a very long conversation about what happened in the past to our real father, please DM me and said, "Humanity, go ahead, go ahead and tell the world the story. Let me tell them. They need to know If you like, wanna share 'em. If you like, wanna not share. No, my money. Cannot keep me quiet. We pass talking word. Do I defend the palace? It me tell me.